In 1974, Osprey launched from a California garage and built its name on American labor, from Colorado sewers and Navajo craftspeople, and earned a Fortune magazine nod by 1991. Today, their entire catalog is stitched across 6 factories in Vietnam. 4 backpack brands still build on U.S. soil. What separates those who stayed from the one that left starts with the story Osprey built before walking away from it. In 1974, Mike Pfotenhauer began hand-sewing custom backpacks in a rented house on Pacific Avenue in Santa Cruz, California. Operating under the name Santa Cruz Recreational Packs, Pfotenhauer built a reputation on custom fits, durable stitching, and direct-to-consumer reliability. As demand for the rugged designs grew, Pfotenhauer relocated the assembly work. In 1990, production moved to Dolores, Colorado, and by 1994, the company established a dedicated sewing facility in the nearby town of Cortez. This transition to the Southwest introduced a central element to the brand's manufacturing identity: skilled seamstresses from the Navajo Nation. These artisans, experienced in traditional weaving, mastered the technical assembly of heavy-duty packs, forming the core of the Colorado workshop. Their craftsmanship proved so precise that in August 1991, Fortune magazine featured Osprey in its America's Best series, celebrating the company's rapid growth and practical design. At this point in Osprey's history, the brand's market credibility depended entirely on domestic labor. Quality existed as a physical reality, sewn directly into every seam by workers in Colorado, years before the company considered foreign factories. In June 2002, Osprey announced a complete shift in its manufacturing strategy, moving production to Korea and Vietnam to scale operations. By May of that year, the sewing machines in Cortez fell silent as the final American-made Osprey pack left the line. To manage this transition, founder Mike Pfotenhauer relocated his family to Ho Chi Minh City in 2003, living there for 4 years to establish an overseas design and quality control hub. This transition established a massive industrial network. Today, the operation runs through Osprey Vietnam Company Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary based in Ho Chi Minh City. In late 2021, the parent company was acquired by consumer goods corporation Helen of Troy for $414 million, solidifying Osprey's position as a global corporate entity. Customs import manifests document the scale of this modern supply chain. Osprey contracts with major industrial manufacturers, including Sambu Vina Sports, Sheila Bags, Vision Vina, and Pungkuk Saigon 2 Corporation. Shipments registered in 2025 show single-week imports, exceeding 18,000 backpacks, all routed through Vietnamese ports directly to the United States. This volume relies on a vast regional workforce. While Osprey's internal audits report no major violations at its own facilities, independent investigations by the Worker Rights Consortium outline systemic challenges across Vietnam's garment sector. Audits from 2025 and 2026 flag widespread issues of excessive overtime and wage rates that fail to meet basic living cost thresholds. For the modern consumer, the transition replaced the individualized touch of Colorado workshops with a high-volume global pipeline, shifting the brand's identity from localized craft to scaled manufacturing. In 2008, former U.S. Army Special Forces Green Beret Jason McCarthy founded Goruck. Drawing on his experience serving 3 tours in Iraq, McCarthy designed a tactical-style rucksack engineered to survive harsh combat environments while remaining clean enough for daily civilian use. This design philosophy became the foundation for a modern domestic manufacturing model. While the company maintains its corporate headquarters in Jacksonville, Florida, Its primary domestic production and testing operations are centered in Bozeman, Montana. This Montana hub is where the brand builds and tests its flagship rucksack, the GR1, verifying the structural integrity of the design under rigorous regional conditions. Unlike the high-volume assembly lines of offshore factories, building a single GR1 requires extensive manual labor. Every individual pack demands 3.5 hours of direct handwork by trained domestic sewers. This measurable time investment turns the American-made claim into a physical reality of skilled labor, visible in the heavy-duty stitching, military-grade webbing, and reinforced stress points of the finished product. To back this intensive manufacturing process, the brand established the SCAR's lifetime guarantee, which stands for Seamless Customer Assistance and Repair Service. Run out of their domestic repair facility, ZIR. This program promises to hand repair or replace damaged gear. The warranty applies to manufacturing defects and hardware alike, and customers do not need to provide a receipt or proof of purchase. When a rucksack suffers damage, it returns to the same domestic production ecosystem where it was built. This system directly links long-term product survival to the original American manufacturing base, offering a direct counterpoint to high-volume offshore outsourcing. This model rejects the pattern of disposable consumer goods, forcing the manufacturer to absorb the long-term cost of repair and making physical durability a financial necessity for the brand. On December 12, 1882, a French-Canadian immigrant named Camille Poirier patented the Poirier pack sack under U.S. patent number 268,932. Engineered with a canvas body, shoulder straps, and a stabilizing head strap, this design was built to withstand the punishing daily environments of Minnesota's timber, railway, and mining workers. That single patent laid the physical foundation for Duluth Pack. While modern outdoor brands often use domestic origin as a marketing label to justify premium pricing, Duluth Pack relies on unbroken generational continuity. The company has manufactured its canvas and leather bags continuously at the same facility in Duluth, Minnesota, for over 140 years. This same site longevity anchors the brand's manufacturing claims in physical, historical records. On the factory floor, this heritage is maintained through individual accountability, rather than high-volume assembly lines. Every finished pack carries a hand signature from the specific craftsperson who built it, sewn directly into the interior. A buyer can look inside their bag and identify the exact worker who cut the canvas, hand-fitted the leather, and completed the stitching. This practice turns a century-old patent into a traceable, daily reality of American manufacturing. In 1997, Patrick Smith founded Kifaru International. The launch followed a familiar industry pattern. Smith had previously established Mountain Smith, which eventually moved its manufacturing overseas. Instead of abandoning domestic labor, Smith hired the skilled American sewers left behind by that offshoring decision. This choice demonstrated that U.S. manufacturing could be actively reassembled. Kifaru grew from a small Colorado workshop to a dedicated facility in Riverton, Wyoming in 2021. Located at 511 East Sunset Drive, this expansion was backed by an $80,000 municipal economic development grant, under which Kifaru committed to maintaining at least 25 full-time local jobs. On the Wyoming sewing floor, workers build packs from raw Cordura fabric purchased directly from domestic textile mills, keeping the material supply chain within U.S. borders. This heavy-duty construction has proven its utility under extreme field conditions. The gear earned credibility with American soldiers serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as backcountry hunters hauling heavy elk harvests through the steep terrain of the Rocky Mountains. Evaluating a backpack requires examining physical proof of origin, traceable material sourcing, and long-term repairability. Osprey shows how easily historical heritage separates from current offshore production. In contrast, the three verified domestic makers, Goruck, Duluth Pack, and Kifaru, represent distinct American manufacturing models rather than one generic category. True domestic production is defined by visible sewing floors and active repair benches, not marketing. While the title of this investigation names 4 brands, current verification only fully certifies these 3. For the consumer, the real test of any gear remains its lifetime footprint. Today, buying a backpack is a direct vote on where industrial value resides. As supply chains favor offshore scale, choosing domestic manufacturing means paying the true cost of local labor. A brand's real authenticity isn't stitched onto the fabric. It is written on its payroll. Share your thoughts below.